Our dear guests and colleagues, I feel honored and in the same time a big responsibility to be part of WISTA International. Today I'm going to touch a subject which is a little bit controversial in the industry, but I have been facing it since I started my career. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Alexandra. I'm a third officer. I work on passenger ships at the moment. I started my career 5 years ago and I passed throughout different types of ships like ro-ro packs and container carriers, and in the end now in the passenger industry, in the cruise life. Today's topic, it's unconscious bias, which I have been facing it, and I feel like it's a little bit underrated and it needs to be more than awaked. Look at us, life is so crowded, so busy, we live our life on daily basis, assumption, traditions, on the way we grow, whatever pops up in the day, you don't know, the lesson learned you have in life, so you create your own background. What if I tell you that daily we have 16,000 thoughts and 14,000 of them are the same thoughts from yesterday or from the day before? So it means like we are spinning in some kind of a circle. We follow just our mindset on the spot like we are on autopilot. So let me give you an example. For instance, you have driving license or you ever ride a bicycle, but you don't learn how to drive it every day. You did your reflexes once, you put yourself into the chair and then you start driving without thinking that from where this comes on or how can you improve your driving skills. You simply drive. And in your mind, while driving, pop up totally different stuff. And you know what? The majority of the accidents happen because our reflexes haven't been awakened. It's because we were on this kind of autopilot. Let me tell you something about our identity and how it's created. On board, I work with maybe 96 different nationalities at the same time. And the thing is that, we come from a different side of the world and we grow up differently. We have different religions, different sects, we have different traditions. So you have to understand everybody and try to be polite and in the same time not to discriminate. Even that it might be just by chance you do something which you don't feel like it's offending, but you don't know how the other one is feeling because you are in this autopilot. So your identity, it's based upon your values, beliefs, behavior, experiences, and of course on your expectations. What we have to do in order to get out of this circle is first of all to recognize and accept the fact that this unconscious bias exists in us. First thing comes first, just accept it, it's here. Okay, let's see how we can fix it, because if you don't accept it, it's like you'll be still on autopilot for your whole life. Second thing on the list is to develop the capacity of putting a flashlight on yourself. What if somehow maybe you are doing something wrong? What if other people see you in a wrong way, or maybe they do something that offends you without thinking? So first of all, you have to put a flashlight on yourself. It's like you put a flashlight under your chin and you watch into the mirror and you see yourself. You see your shadows, you see your face, you see your behaviors, and so on. Third thing on the list is to practice some constructive uncertainty. Okay, you see somebody, you already have your mindset regarding this person just by knowing nationality, seeing the skin color, some clothing or whatever. Imagine that you have to meet with a person in a blind date, for instance a person from Sweden, and then in your mind pops out a very tall guy like a Viking, and maybe he's blonde because he's coming from Sweden, it's North country, and all of a sudden in front of you appears one person which has a different skin tone of color, a little bit brownish, and it's wearing the wrap clothing. And he's telling you that he's Swedish, 100%. He lived in Sweden for his whole life. You'll feel awkward in that moment because you haven't practiced this constructive uncertainty. Just don't make up your mind on nobody before you see it. You have to explore and to exploit the discomfort by passing throughout this unconscious bias. Okay, we admit it exists, we develop this flashlight, we know ourselves, we know our faces, and we practice this uncertainty, but then you have to face the discomfort of getting out of the circle. Fifth thing that I want to tell you regarding this unconscious bias is to engage the other into conversation, to get to meet and to present yourself in a positive role. This means that being in a positive role, it's admitting that even you come from this country, you have this gender, you have this religion, and some people may think of you this and that. So it's kind of, okay, I admit I have a preconcept. Maybe before I work with your nationality, I work with somebody who looked similar like you, but I changed my mind regarding this kind of persons because you gave a positive way, and I also had this issue in the past. So just admit it and engage the positive role between the relationship among you. The sixth one and the last is to get the feedback. Sometimes the feedback is not so nice. Maybe you'll receive a feedback which might hurt you. But in order to move over in your self-development, it will not be a paved road. Maybe it will be like a bumpy one, like climbing a mountain and then, falling down and then climbing again. Like this is Sisyphus. So just be patient with yourself, get a feedback, and try to understand how to move over and self-develop your lesson learned. So, my dear guests, please take your time not to be on autopilot. Take your time to self-develop yourself. This kind of conferences give a lot of help. And to be honest, now that I have seen very few conferences on maritime environment basis, I realized that in the shore side and sea side, job-wise, we kind of behave same. Of course, we have our own particularities on board because here life can be a little bit more hostile, but job-wise, trust me, we work with people, we have unconscious bias. Maybe here it's a little bit more accelerated, proportional to the time that you spend cast away from your comfort zone. This is Third Officer Alexandra, out.